It doesn't. They can be small sentences or whatever, just a sentence using the word. And if you may have issues, email me, and then I'll resend you the words with the more off of that, and write the sentences, and then.
Alexandra.
Hi, how are you doing?
Good, how are you?
Pretty good. Everything well.
Can't do this
one.
Can't do this one. Can't do this one. Can't do this one. That was too low. Too low. Fine, what you think too low? Let's see if that one's too low. Too low, too low. It sounded fine over here, man. I thought it was a box in a box, bro. I thought it was a box in a box, bro. Oh, this is not good. Oh, the audio's so low. Oh. Followership and kind of like. Yes. I wonder, I hope that's what it was with the other one too, but I thought I went up here. What's up, man? How we do? Hold up. On the term followership, at the request of Miss Alexandra Blockton. Thompson. She's not joining us at the moment. She may be resting because I just got done resting. You talking like you just woke up. What you like that? Oh, you talking like you just. And if I was resting, maybe she was resting. How do you like that logic? How you like that logic? How you like that logic? Right. So today we will talk about followership. Can I get a glass of water, please? Let's talk about it, man. Right now, I think I like to share my screen. I got IU with me right here, right now. What up, Juju man? Juju man.
Hey, you get done about. You're right. You mean.
Whoa, are you okay, buddy? Juju. Yo, what happened? Juju. That's Juju, man. Right. That's okay. Juju, boy. All right. Oh, what's that? Box in the box. I'm not sure how good you see my screen, but this is Robert Kelly's model of followership. Oh, this is disrupting. We'll put ourselves down here. Box in the box. Go ahead. It's not like this one got all this information on it. Let's see if we can make this. Oh, there we go. So according to Robert Kelly, there's 5 followership types. I'm going to start in the center, what they call the survivors / pragmatists. Decisions are based on assessment of cost benefit for self. Avoid taking risk, even if prudent. The pragmatist. So let's go ahead and hey, Juicy, what's going on? What's that? What is pragmatism in simple terms? So let me look it up for you. What's a pragmatist? Come on. So you can be precise. Precision expected. Right, let's set that to the side. Precision. Pragmatist is a person who deals with problems or situations by focusing on practical approaches and solutions, ones that will work in practice as opposed to being ideal in theory. The word pragmatist is often contrasted with the word idealist, which refers to a person who acts based on high principles or ideals. So what I'm going to say is that when I was younger, I was an idealist. Today, I'm a pragmatist. Okay, what that mean? And I'm actually a combination of the two. And this is the distinction. Idealism, like being a pragmatist and an idealist, allows for depth of vision. Pragmatists often don't have the depth of vision
because they are so focused on what's real and practical right now. So they may not be considering technologies or changes in behaviors of the future. And then that's the blind side to pragmatism. And idealism, the blind side to idealism is the practical daily activities that got to get done for the success of the vision and or project.
I am idealist in thinking and I'm pragmatist in
my
behavior.
projects.
Okay. Makes sense? Makes sense to me.
Let's go. Let's go.
Okay, combine opposites. Opposites attract and become, oh, the moon. I got a great view of the moon. What is a pragmatist person like? A pragmatist is someone who is pragmatic. That is to say, someone who is practical and focused on reaching a goal. A pragmatist usually has a straightforward, matter-of-fact approach and doesn't let emotion distract them.
No distractions. None. I tell ya.
Oh, this water tastes funny. What is the difference between realism and pragmatism? Realism is favoring practicality and accepting the physical facts of life. Pragmatism is having the view that practical consequences are the criteria of knowledge, meaning, and value. They actually overlap in meaning. Realism is favoring practicality and accepting the physical. They sound pretty similar to me. Pretty similar. What is a pragmatist approach? As a research paradigm, pragmatism is based on the proposition that researchers should use the philosophical and methodological approach that works best for the particular research problem that is being investigated. All right, so
what I would be curious, like to see at the same time in a controlled setting would be a pragmatist and a realist working together or talking or debating or having conversations. That would be interesting to see the various perspectives on a subject or a topic. And I would venture to say that it would be interesting to also see the differences between an optimistic pragmatist realist and a pessimistic pragmatist realist, and to what degree is those that identify with realism identify with pessimism and pragmatism to optimism. You know, I wonder what those numbers are, if those numbers could be measured, you know, at a real level individually. Yeah, maybe so.
Learned about pragmatism.
What you gonna do with those numbers? Numbers what? Words, numbers, what's the point? You got a number, okay, could you really believe it? Could you really believe it? I mean, there's some truth to it because you got the number, assuming it was all done right, but then what was done right? You know, like, either way,
So the cost survivors, those that make decisions based on assessments of a cost benefit for self. Avoid taking risk, even if prudent. That's an interesting addition to it, to avoid taking risk. Whereas an idealist takes risk, is the idea. Okay, so that's just at the center of being passive and active, at the center of being a critical thinker and being an uncritical thinker. You have survivors. Now let's go to the lower right quadrant. Active and uncritical thinking. These are your yes people. They may rush off in the wrong direction, fail to self-correct, adjust to the situation, fail to exploit opportunities, no pushbacks on possible flaws, and command his directions, and keep returning for instruction.
That's me.
So we're talking about followership. And often it's said that great leaders are great followers. So is a great follower a yes man, a yes person, a yes in the yes people category? I don't think so. So yes people are not critically thinking, but they are actively following. Being in the lower right hand quadrant does present some issues. These are individuals that may behave, that may engage in destructive behavior at the request of their leader without critically thinking, without understanding the intention of the instruction of their leader. They just yes people. They just don't follow. But they're gonna do it. They're gonna bang. They're gonna bang for their set. You know, they're gonna follow the orders. But these people also fail to exploit opportunity. I mean, these people are not thinking necessarily about the outcomes. They're not necessarily interested in the vision of the leader. They're more interested in being a good follower, you know, being a yes person.
That's okay.
As you can imagine, being a yes person comes with its consequences and it has its flaws.
Supporters.
One that they're useful to the leader, in that the leader can give them instruction and they can carry out those instructions, but they'll need to keep coming back for more instructions. Some leaders like that. Some leaders like the power that comes with giving people instructions time and time again. It makes them feel important. However, these individuals do not easily self-correct or adjust the situation. So these people are just maybe not considered high quality followers. They may be easily distracted and could easily choose to follow a new leader, that someone that can get their attention and show them something they haven't seen before. So they could easily be led astray. So that's the yes person. Those are the active
and not just something that they haven't seen before, because it could be something that they have seen and have wanted for some time.
Doesn't that it's good for people to have experience, move around, get different jobs, get different focuses, get different experiences. That's important. Now, you could be an individual that's just a mentor. What's a mentor? What's a mentor?
Now, I am being silly, but I'm not really into the word mentor, because why I got men in it? Like, men, everything. Men, everything. So what are you, a feminist? It's like mentor. What does that mean? Nah, but it really means ment, of the mind. Of the mind. Of the mind. But like influencer, leader, influences the leaders, leaders the influences.
What's a mentor? What's a mentor? Mentor? Coach? We want to call him coach? Instructor? Instructor? I don't. What? Are you hear this? Are you hearing all this?
critical thinking. Now, how about the passive uncritical thinking?
Let the yes man be. Let the yes man be.
Let them be.
Why are you so harsh with the yes man? Let him find his way. It doesn't mean it's a stray.
What?
The passive uncritical thinking, sheep. They named them after an animal. This Kelly guy calls them sheep. Will not act unless directly supervised and instructed. Fail to self-correct, adjust to the situation. Fail to...
Now, not everybody like being associated with an animal, although I like being associated with like the lion, the eagle, but not everybody wants to call it sheep. So, you can call them the crowd. The crowd.
To exploit opportunities, no pushbacks on possible flaws, and commanded direction. Crowd. So these are very similar to...
Say welcome, welcome, welcome. Juju Boy 630.
The yes people, except that these individuals will fail to act unless directly supervised and instructed. So that's what makes them passive. I got it. Okay. So these are the people that just show up. They show up and you give them instruction. And I realize that this is a category of people, and people often find ease in being able to just show up. Thank you, son. This one tastes funny. Was that one mine? Did you get me two? I don't know. That one tastes funny. Let's see about this one.
The JJ everyday day.
Thank you. It's good.
Now you want to have that water?
Yeah, I'll just break this down to you now.
So we got the sheep and we got the yes person.
So let's not call them sheep. Let's call them the crowd. And let's not call them yes man. Let's call them supporters.
So, and these individuals are in our sphere of influence, so we will be dealing with these individuals nonetheless. So these are uncritical thinking individuals. One is passive.
And that's not necessarily a negative or a bad thing, but it's a reality and observation if their behaviors are matching that. So they're not thinking. If they're distracted, then because of their distraction, they'll fall into one of these categories that can include the category we're talking about.
One is active. So the yes people may rush off in the wrong direction if they don't.
The wrong direction, what that mean? Well, if they are wishing to experience ease and instead they're experiencing dis-ease, well, let's call that a wrong direction. If they want to feel good, relaxed, confident, but instead they feel anxious, apathetic, bored, then let's call that moving away from good.
Quite understand the instruction, and they're not as useful to the leader as
Useful. So now, is it about utility? Is that the value of a person? Is that one's worth? Is their utility? Are you serious? GRX 36? Are you serious? Are you serious? They can't be serious.
as the more critical thinking
Serious.
Types. But they represent numbers. You know, the sheep represent numbers. You
Crowd.
directly supervise them and instruct them, and they're going to follow. Now let's go into the top quadrants. Let's go to top left first. The critical thinking, the independent, critical thinking, passive type. They call it the alienated follower. In another table, I saw the cynic. May act contrary to commander's intent based on own analysis or choose to stall. No pushback on possible flaws in commander's direction.
Alienated. I'm a cynic. I'm a critic. What you do, I can do better. Always.
May adjust based on the situation, may exploit opportunities. So it gets interesting now. So your alienated followers may act contrary to the instructions of the leader's intent based on their own analysis. So they may choose to stall, which is what makes them passive. There's no pushback. So far, none of these types give pushback. However, this one may adjust based on the situation because they're more critical thinking. They're just passive. So they may behave, they may act on it, they may adjust, and they may exploit opportunities when identified. And effective followers. Let's go now to the right quadrant. So we got the cynic that may act contrary to the commander's intent. So now let's go with the effective follower, also called the exemplary leader, or the exemplary follower, basically. Link intent to action, adjust based to the situation, exploit opportunities, point out fixable flaws in directions and recommend solutions, coordinate actions with adjacent elements. So this is a sweet spot. This is the type that you want in your organization. This is the type that you want to lead. Is the one that can point out your flaws. The one that may recommend solutions. The one that links intent to action. Adjust based on the situations, exploits opportunities. So this one's paying attention. It's a critical thinker. They're active. They're paying attention. They point out the fixable flaws. You know, they coordinate actions with adjacent elements. Okay. Effective followers are the exemplary followers that mission, command, doctrine, and visions. They rise to the challenge of exercising disciplined initiative. They critically think about the commander's intent and align their actions accordingly. As the situations evolve, effective followers adjust and exploit opportunities when presented with them. They are prepared to offer constructive feedback to the commander to improve his or her understanding, intent, and orders. Another trait of effective followers is their ability to weave a web of relationships. In mission command, this translates to actively partnering with adjacent elements to produce better overall outcome. So I'm reading from the Army University Press Military Review 2017 online exclusive article, The Practical Application of Followership Theory in Mission Command. Let's go ahead and download it.
I gotta go find that. I haven't even looked at it yet. I gotta go find it. Where'd he go? Hey, what's that?
Let's go to the managing aspect of this graphic. Managing survivors. Shape incentives, rewards, prudent risk, and respond positively to feedback. Reward prudent risk and respond positively to feedback. Reward prudent risk and respond positively to feedback. Got it. All right, so then we're going to go to managing yes people. Select tasks that are less dynamic and complex. Provide additional opportunities for reevaluation. Look elsewhere for feedback. Managing sheep. Mission command not suitable. Provide detailed instructions and increased supervision. Managing alienated followers. Focus on shared understanding. Additional supervision needed. Deliberately solicit feedback. Managing effective followers. No management needed. Maximize the use of mission command with effective followers. So if you're managing sheep, you got to provide detailed instruction and increased supervision.
Why you keep calling them sheep? The crowd. The crowd. Have you figured it out yet? Have you figured it out yet?
If you're managing yes people, you look for feedback elsewhere.
Yes, people. Supporters. Get it straight. Supporters.
If you're managing alienated followers, additional supervision is needed. So supervision is needed for the passive. And for your active, you don't necessarily need supervision. Trying to maximize the use of mission command with effective followers. Let's see.
Now instructions to the crowd that are within your sphere of influence and have a responsibility to give you something based on some sort of contract that you have with that person, whatever based on whatever relationship you have. You can create some form of operating guideline, what we call operating procedure, and give them instruction on how you wish them to accomplish whatever task it is. Just be specific with the instruction and then document it and discuss it, and it'll work itself out. One way or another, it'll work itself out. But yeah, clear instructions is important for the crowd.
It'll work itself out means what will be, will be. What will be, will be. What will be, will be. What is, what was. What will be, will be. What will be, will be. So that's all there is to it. That's all there is to it.
Solicit feedback, guys. So you got questions, I got answers. You got questions, I got answers. So what? But you got a problem with a box in the box. You got a problem with the fact that you can't read the text. My bad. We will work to improve that in future episodes. What's the episode?
What's the episode?
Moments of time, separate, detached from the present moment.
Disconnect.
So we in the future, or we in the past, or we in the new. This is called the new now. When you in the neo into reality vibranium. When you in nerd, this is the new now. But, so that's how you manage the haters. You know what I'm saying? You got questions, I got answers. Fans, just give them all what they want. That's it. Keep them happy. Give them all what they want. You know, they want attention, give them attention. You know, they want resources, give them resources. Give them what they want. And if it's just a supporter, let's see what he got to say.
Close supervision with alienated followers. Maximum autonomy, effective. Frequent reevaluation, yes person.
Oh, just be you. For your supporters, just be you. That's it.
So you can match effective followers with sheep, with alienated followers with the yes person. So the effective follower can be the leader of the other types. And alienated followers, trust was broken, unmet expectations often start out as effective followers. Oh, okay. So then there was a trauma that occurred that took the effective critical thinking follower from the active position to the passive position. Got it. Survivors are protracted instability, leaders who are transactional. Yes, people, heavy penalties for non-conformance, high organizational rigidity. Sheep, leaders who are controlling, leaders who use fear.
That's right.
This is a very interesting article. I'll go ahead and X out of it. Followership.
That was dope.
Kelly's diagram. Well, we just reviewed Kelly's diagram. And now I'm moving on to another diagram. We got followers, the 7 types. You got the realist, the loyalist. So we got, let's see, the loyalists sound like the yes people. The realists.
You gonna va a seguir. Y va a seguir. Y va. Supporters. Not yet. Supporters. Don't call them sheep again either. The crowd. The crowd.
Sound like the pragmatists. The traders sound like the alienated. The spectators sound like they're not either, shouldn't be considered a follower, they're just watching. The opportunists, where should we put the opportunists? Opportunist. Now, opportunist doesn't necessarily mean a bad thing. So an opportunist is going to be somewhere in between the alienated and the exemplary.
Doesn't have to be a bad thing, but often the opportunist is behaving or acting selfishly. And if the opportunist behaves selfishly or in his self-interest above the interest of the community or the whole, then that's what then begins to make it quote unquote bad, or bring down or cause to decrease in its pureness.
Okay. And the critics. So I guess traders and spectators, those they've been traumatized outside of the realm of leadership. I mean, like, effective leaders can be critical. Sycophants. I'm not sure I'm even pronouncing that correctly. Let's go ahead and see.
That's right. Google it. That's right. Look it up.
Google it. That's right. Look it up.
Sycophants. A person who acts obsequiously towards someone important in order to gain advantage. A servile, self-seeking flatterer. Sycophantic. Adjective, sycophantic, is perfect for describing someone who uses flattery to get what they want. Someone who sycophantic goes overboard with compliments, usually to gain. Okay, so we got.
So flattery is a form of manipulation.
Got the flatterers. The flatterers.
Flat Earth. Flat Earth.
Now we could talk about seducers. You got flatterers and you got seducers. Now, to the degree that the seducer does not control or restrict the movements of others, the degree that the seducer gets permission to talk about the past and the future, and to the degree that the to the degree that all that happens, then to that degree,
will be good. Seducer will be good. So that
interesting.
Degree, you'll be
interesting. So man, these are like, so we got the excessive, like, these are like, that's like in the describing someone who uses flattery to get what they want. Someone who sycophantic goes overboard with compliments, usually to gain.
Trying to catch.
Okay, so we got the flatterers. The flatterers. Okay.
Yeah, space was formed in my thoughts.
What?
I had no
interesting.
Words to choose.
Interesting. So man, these are like, so we got the excessive, like, these are like, that's like in the opportunist category. So the flatter, maybe an uncritical thinking.
Put it in the clip.
Active. So you got the loyalists, the sycophant, the critics. It doesn't look, man.
You right there.
When you frame leadership like this, when you give these 7 types of followers, it's like, who wants to be a leader? Who wants to be a leader of traders? Who wants to be a leader of spectators?
Who wants to be a leader of traders? Will you please raise your hand?
Who wants to be a leader of sycophants?
There's a trader in every click. There's a trader. There's the potential for trading in every click. Be kind.
If you're a realist, I got it. If you're a loyalist, who wants to be the leader of loyalists? Who wants to be the leader of opportunists? Who wants to be the leader of critics and realists? So it's like somewhere between realists and critics.
Law and order up in
That's
here.
Kind of like, you know, if I'm honest, like
18 void.
I want to be a leader. I want to be a leader. Now, do I want to be the leader of a critic? I guess somewhere between a critic and a realist.
For the sake of humanity.
Yes. Put me somewhere between the critic and the realist.
Let's do it. Somebody's got to do it. That's law and order. But to be the physical manifestation of that, I don't know about that.
Okay.
Pass.
I'm looking at another wheel here. So we got followership. We got disciple.
Instructions.
It means we got disciple.
I just state the instructions. Reset, form, void. Reset is the goal. Form is the instructions. Void is the work.
Work.
I'll leave it at that right now.
At the bottom.
Plan A, win. So all you need is one plan. Plan A, win. Win at what? What you want to win at? What's the character? What's your storyline? Everything goes back to the story. Everything goes back to the story and the habits that support it, that bring it about into existence.
Mentee, apprentice, comrade, loyalist, lifeway, dreamer, apprentice. Shaped by personal goal. Dreamer, apprentice. A means to express self. Shaped by relationships. It's interesting. You know, so followership is a dang thing. Followership is a dang thing. Toxic followership. Predatory leadership, colluders, conformers, prayerful followership. Willful blindness, sacrificial discipleship. Sheesh. Toxic followership.
Collective idolization. Let's talk about
Toxic triangle. Destructive leaders, charisma, personalized power, narcissism, negative life themes, ideology of hate. Susceptible followers, conformers and colluders. Conducive environments, instability, perceived threat, cultural value, lacks of checks and balances. Yeah, that definitely is a toxic triangle. So, you know, I want to move the conversation away from followership and kind of like match it with purpose. You know, I guess what stood out for me today is like, you know, 7 types of followers. You got loyalists.
You got loyalists. Now, loyalists are great. They're there with you through thick and thin. You could also call them confidants when they're all the way positive. But a loyalist can go bad on you.
So it can go bad on you. Now what that mean? That mean it can be disruptive. If you want ease, now is that a bad thing? Not necessarily, but it's disruptive nonetheless.
So you got to give him attention so that you can maintain a quality relationship that doesn't lead to areas that you both don't want to experience.
You know, which could be exemplary. It could be your best, but I don't necessarily sense that the loyalists are the exemplary. You know, they more sound like maybe they're between yes people and learn that right there. Boom. So there's your loyalists. Then you got your excessive flatterers. Those are going to be in the cynic category. The critic.
Haters. The cynics are the haters.
It's like, who wants to be a leader? Who wants to be a leader?
It ain't a bad thing to
Who wants to lead those kind of people?
Yes. However, but in just
who wants to lead those kind of people?
This vibe, now we just talking. That noise. This is a good time to bring this to a close. JJ, Day, you want to close this out? You know what I mean? This is the intermission.
Tonight, the Black Hair Podcast presented the Real Talk Show. We talk about friendship, love, and purpose. That was your host, JRX36.
And his little main.
We will see you next time.
Voice.
Take care now. Bye-bye.
Voice.
Tonight, the Black Hair Party has presented the Real Talk Show. We talk about friendship, love, and purpose. That was your host, JRX36. And we will see you next time.
Tonight, Juju Boy, King Jaden. Y'all. We catch you next time. Hootie hoo. What's a hootie hoo, huh? What's a hootie hoo? That's the first time I ever heard you say hootie hoo. What's a hootie hoo? Deuce.
And then you'll be able to